Things just got real in Critical Role, as the gods themselves are on the chopping block. Or, more appropriately, the dinner table.
I will eat all of you alive right now!
Welcome to Roll Recap, the Character Sheet's weekly-ish look back at the latest Critical Role episode. Today we'll be talking about the events of episode 44 of Campaign 3. So, if you don't want to be spoiled about Campaign 3, and specifically what happened in episode 44, click away now.
Don't look at me!
This week's Critical Role episode finally unveiled the full scope of the Ruidus conspiracy plaguing Bell's Hells since the beginning of the campaign. It turns out that Odahan Thul and her followers are part of the Ruby Vanguard, a group that is looking to unbind the chains that bind all life. Their aim is to grant ultimate freedom to the mortals of Exandria by unleashing Predathos from its prison in Ruidus, which will allow this strange otherworldly entity to feast upon the gods themselves. The Ruby Vanguard believes that this will allow mortals to live their lives untangled from the whims of gods and fate, as the gods will be, well, dead. Surprisingly, Odahan Thul isn't the leader of the Ruby Vanguard. Instead, it's an old friend of the Mighty Nine, Ludinus Deleth, a member of the Cerberus Assembly. While the Mighty Nine suspected that Ludinus was shady, he kept his nose mostly clean during Campaign 2, which allowed him to survive a purge of sorts of the Cerberus Assembly at the end of that last campaign. Now, he's creating even more trouble, communing with Predathos and convincing a group of dozens or even hundreds into joining him with his plans to unleash a god killer upon reality. So, the Ruby Vanguard believes that Predathos won't bring about an apocalypse or a new calamity, as Predathos' sole interest is eating gods. As they say, when the shark finishes the fish, it doesn't go after the plankton. The major issue is that Bell's Hells only has 1 week to stop Ludinus and the Ruby Vanguard. Their best hope is to target one of the 3 Malleus keys, strange machines that somehow will free Predathos from its moon prison. While the key on the material plane is relatively well guarded, the other 2, located in the Feywild and the Shadowfell, might be softer targets, better poised for sabotage. Of course, Chetney just wants to kill Ludinus, which might be the simpler plan, but is likely harder to pull off as he's at minimum a level 15 wizard, and realistically, let's face it, the dude is almost certainly a level 20 archmage, and Bell's Hells just isn't there yet.
They're not ready.
In fact, this entire conspiracy seems well beyond the abilities of Bell's Hells. They're only mid-level characters facing off against apocalypse-level threats, which leads us to wonder, are the gods of Exandria supposed to die? Considering that the gods of Exandria have been sealed off from the material plane, maybe their eradication was always in the cards, and Bell's Hells are just the vehicle to make it happen. There are other D&D campaign settings where the gods don't exist. Dragonlance and Dark Sun both spring to mind as having some sort of restriction on their deities. So could this be a way to pivot Exandria to a world without gods? Or, alternatively, could this be a way to better separate Exandria from established D&D gods in favor of a new pantheon that isn't owned by another company? Especially given the controversy over supposed changes to D&D's OGL, could Matt Mercer be attempting to bring in a new pantheon of gods that he doesn't have to ask Wizards of the Coast permission to use? These are all questions that we'll find out as soon as the 1 week countdown ends, because it seems hard to believe that a party like Bell's Hells could withstand the cosmic level forces they now seem to be in conflict with. Obviously, some major shit is about to go down in Critical Role. We'll see if the gods can survive after the next week, or maybe they'll go into hiding, or maybe they'll get wiped out entirely. Who knows what will happen? Let us know your theories in the comments section, and be sure to like and subscribe to the Character Sheet.